Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor, and this is the reading for anyone who's watching for 2023. I don't know right now what kind of layout I'm going to do, honestly. I started the video, and in the middle of it, I was like, this is not the video you should be doing. Because there was this sense of like, I don't know, responsibility or not responsibility. Um, it felt like a burden. It felt like a burden. And I realized that as I was doing it and saying it, and it's like, no, you need to change your attitude. So if I come at it with a sense of love and service, it becomes a different thing because then I can open and hear. So I think that's the message. The message is, what attitude am I? And it was kind of the message before too, in a different way. Um, the attitude I walk in with, and the attitude I uphold, and the attitude that I wear, and that I encompass, is has a lot to do with how I see things. It has a lot to do with perspective. So that's my little message. So am I going in with an attitude of, and it's almost the same message as before, which is interesting. Oh, it's not going to work out, a sense of dread, a sense of fear? Or am I going in with the sense of like, let's see what happens? Let's see what happens. I think it's going to be fun. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do them, I'm going to do my regular 3-card reading, and I'm going to do it seasonally. So I'm going to do 4 3-card readings. All right. But my 3-card readings to 8 or 9, who knows? So basically it's going to be split up by the season. So we're beginning with winter. I know it's odd, but it's January. All right. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. There we go. There we go. We start with the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is not the happiest card in the world. Then we have the Ace, which is great, of Pentacles in the beginning, and the Knight of Cups. All right. So the 3 of Swords, it could be read a lot of different ways. Considering what like the world basically has been through in these past few years, I feel like that whole energy is shifting. That whole energy is shifting. It's this, oh, well, I was disappointed in this, and I'm heartbroken about that, and things aren't what they were. Yeah, I know. But I feel like there's an opportunity here to release yourself from that. And I feel like what I'm it's our individual responsibility to release ourselves from heartache, right? It's our own individual responsibility. And it doesn't mean that you can't help a friend or a friend can't help you. But at the end of the day, it comes down to an acceptance of things the way they are, and then using that as fuel or as information or as an experience to say, okay, well, I know what makes me feel good and I know it doesn't make me feel good, right? So if I see myself going down a road of something that's not making me feel good, I'm going to get out before, right? I'm on my way to the party and I realize that it doesn't feel right. So I'm actually going to turn around and not go, or like that. There's an energy of self-protection, self-healing, self-care, self-protection. All right. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is a wonderful card. It's a 1, so it's a beginning. The Ace of Pentacles is my favorite ace. It's such an interesting card in that Okay. The road is really, really clear and obstacle free. Super clear and obstacle free. It's the clearest road in the whole deck. And then once you're on that road, which is really simple to be on because it's just straight ahead, it's not like you got to make a left here and look at for the gas station. It's not like that. It's like it's just straight ahead. And then you go through a vortex. Now, I these look like lilies. These look like lilies, right? So lilies are, it's like the trumpet of Gabriel. So it's really about listening. It's really about listening and being open to the opportunities, being open to opportunities, whether they be financial, or whether they be financial. There's an energy in the Ace of Pentacles, or in Pentacles in general. It's not just money. It's also security. It's anything physical. So it could be health, right? So, the beginning of the year, how everybody does their little weird thing with my New Year's resolution, like, it's like a matter of time before they break it. But there's an energy of listening, of like, how can I be healthier? And listening also, pentacles are also time. It's also time. So, how am I spending my time? Am I spending my time in remorse and heartache? Or am I creating, because it's a 3, am I creating something that has more opportunity? Am I creating a new road for myself to walk down? What am I creating? All right. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is interesting because he's really the knight in shining armor. He's the knight in shining armor. Yay! So it's kind of like, how do I say that? I don't really do love readings. It's just not my forte. It's not my shtick. And but I feel like it's really allowing. So, in your mind's eye, what does the knight in shining armor offer? What is Prince Charming really all about? For some people, it's like, oh, he's handsome. For some people, oh, he's rich. For some people, oh, he's secure. For some people, oh, he's sincere, right? Or, a combination of all those things, or some of those things. And, some are more important than others to different people. And it's like, how can I step into, when I say I mean you, how can I step into being the knight in shining armor in my own life in order to heal myself, in order to be open to new opportunities? That is the winter energy. That's really interesting. Okay. And then let me see if I can get the timing on this. I don't know what the timing is. Maybe I'll pause. No, I'm not going to pause. I'll just have to watch the whole video and stop it myself. Okay. So that is the winter reading. Okay. And then I'm going to just put those on the side. This is how I'm working it. I don't know. This is spring. Here we go. I know I should change my outfit. The 9 of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the 2. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. What does it transform into? Whoops. All right. So let's do this. The 9 of Pentacles, because I think I could fit 4 on the board. Okay, so the 9 of Pentacles is a really interesting card. The 9 of Pentacles is like, it's such an interesting card. It really is. It's a 9, it's attainment. It's okay. So sometimes the Nine of Pentacles has this energy of, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm feeling really surrounded. I have to draw a boundary. I have to draw a boundary in order. So maybe the boundary is about one's heart, right? Maybe the boundary is about one's heart. As to, I have to protect myself from outside influences that make me feel stuck, that make me feel like I have nowhere to move, that, are overwhelming. And then and then the Ace of Pentacles turns into the King of Pentacles. So the Ace is the beginning, and the King is almost like the last pentacle in a way, because he's the King is like the epitome. It's not male or female. It's an energy. The King of Pentacles is a businessman. He's really wise with money, and he has knowledge of how to make it and how to make it grow and how to be secure. So this new opportunity leads into you're becoming, more established, more knowledgeable, more experienced, because, oh, I lit so much incense. It took me a long time to start the video because I lit so much, and it was it's a little smoky now, but it was really smoky. He also sits in his chair and he lets opportunities come to him. That's what I just got. He sits in his chair. He sits in that energy of abundance. He sits in the energy and he feels the feeling of being the king. And he knows, being the king, that people are going to come to him and say, I have an opportunity for you. You have the knowledge, you have maybe the money, and this is where we can go together, because he's the king. The king doesn't go visit, he is visited. And then I have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords for me is a card of big intuition. I think one of the full moons is going to be enormous. I think one of the full moons, I don't know which one. Because if the first is January, February, March, April, May, June, January, February, March, April, May, June, maybe it's the June moon, I don't know. So the Two of Swords is really kind of sits still until it becomes clear. Until it becomes clear. So there's an energy of observing, not just with one's, with your whole body, observing with your instinct, observing with your hearing, observing with like what you feel. And then what happens is, it's really interesting. I heard somebody else describe it like this, and it really made sense to me. Whereas, she's sitting here and she's blindfolded, so she doesn't really know where she's at. And then this new land appears behind her. It's like, because she sat and observed, and because she has knowledge and has drawn a boundary, a new land appears, new opportunity, a new new opportunity to maybe live somewhere else, or, and living somewhere else doesn't have to necessarily be your home. Living somewhere else could be a different company, could be living in a different place emotionally, where it's like she has her little safe space to go to. I never interpreted it like that. Winter, spring, here comes summer. A sense of wonder, a sense of hope, beginning something new, being really studious. Because sometimes, I could be very impulsive. So, sometimes someone will say something and be like, oh yeah, well, I'll throw $300 into that without even doing any kind of research, without, I do that quite a lot. But he's really studious, and he has a new idea, a new inkling of an idea. And I think he has a new inkling of an idea because he's been paying attention to his intuition and because he set up boundaries and he knows his own power. I guess it's a 12 card reading. All right. Yeah, an opportunity. So you might not take the first opportunity. This is summer. You might not take the first opportunity. It's like, no, I think I'm going to wait for a better offer. I think I'm going to wait for a better offer. This, it's been offered before. Maybe you're looking for a job and, it would be like, I make this amount of money and then I go to another company and I make the same amount of money. It's like, I want more money or more benefits, or I want something more. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I have enough faith in myself, and I have enough boundaries, and I have enough knowledge, and I have enough intuition, and I know not to fight somebody else's battle. Right? Yeah, I'm moving forward into something new. I'm going to move forward into something new. That's interesting. I have a really clear vision. She has a really clear vision, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords knows exactly where she's going. She has a really, really clear vision about where she wants to end up, and anything that's in the way, she doesn't even bother with. It's not like, oh, I'm going to cut it out. It's like, no, she just doesn't even bother with it. She just, she has a focus and a dedication in a way. I'll show you the cards soon. Aha. And here comes the fresh, new, brand new idea, and it's like, this is almost like, sometimes it's, the Knight of Swords can sometimes be like, what do they call it? Like a flash of inspiration, like a flash of, aha. It's a little bit of aha. Yeah, I've given up my old way of thinking. I've given up my old way of thinking so that a new dawn can arise. And this old way of thinking, I think, is, I'm going to show you everything now. I know I didn't really have a whatever. I wink at it all the time. I've been really disappointed in the past, but now I have new opportunities that arise that, lead toward healing. I've drawn a line in the sand because I no longer want to feel overwhelmed or surrounded. I have the knowledge of how to be secure. I am following my intuition, and through that, new opportunities arise. It takes time because she has to take off the blindfold and drop the swords and drop her defensiveness. But, really curious and studious as to how it's going to go, and not just settling because you have a clear vision of where you want to go, and then you get backed up by it, right? And it's like, not only am I going to have a new job, but I'm going to have a new house, and this is how I'm going to attain it, because I've given up my old way of thinking to see what the new dawn has to say. Okay. And, yeah, it might take a lot of work, but you know what? I really enjoy the work. I really enjoy working on this. I really enjoy, this is whistleblower work. I really enjoy paying attention to the detail and perfecting my craft and learning something new. And this learning something new, I mean, usually that's a physical card, but in this reading, the dogs just wait for me to do the video, so I don't know if you can hear it. I feel like a whole new road is opening up. That's what it feels like. It feels like a whole new road is opening up. It's like, and I sometimes I say this, individual signs, but it's like a whole new way of looking at the world, and new opportunities arise, and maybe opportunities you never thought could be part of your reality. And you're following your intuition, but at the same time, you're going to be practical. And it's like, it's about developing new skills and furthering your education and furthering your curiosity and furthering, expanding as a soul. Like, well, I never really thought I could do that, but it looks like I'm doing it, and I guess I can. a little bit like that. It's actually really exciting and hopeful. It's actually really exciting and hopeful. All right, and then I'm going to throw some more. Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit of a balance act, but I don't feel like it's going to happen immediately. I feel like it's in process. Like the whole, it's like I decided to change my careers, or I decided to um, look at the world in a different way. I've decided to look at my security in a different way. Look at money and my time and who I spend time with in a different way. And it's a process. It doesn't, generally it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, sometimes it does, but a lot of times it's like, this is like, so for me, I write every day. I started that a few months ago and I write down, I manifest, blah, blah, blah. I, I speak Spanish fluently. I live in Mexico in a state of ease, all that. So I write those things down. And then I write down um, the date and I write angels and I go, what actions do I need to take, right? And it just comes through. And, my intuitive gifts have gotten stronger since I'm in Mexico. And I know I'm being led on a road that's like more in tune, more listening, more following the directions, more less this and more this. And it's a little bit frightening in a way, and it's a little bit exciting. And it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. It's a little bit like if you meditate regularly, some days you can go so deep, and you're like floating, and you get messages, and the stent of bliss. And then other days, let's say that's Monday, right? And then Tuesday, it's like I've been sitting here for 15 minutes and nothing's going on. I'm hungry. So it's a process, it's like it's like a cha-cha. 1, 2, 3, like that dance. I don't know, what is that, cha-cha? You 1, 2 forward and then 1 back, and 1, 2 forward and then 1 back, and 1, 2 forward and then 1 back. It's a little bit like that. But the Empress is here. But the Empress is here. The Empress is here. The Empress is about ease. She's about comfort. She's about creativity. She's about nourishment. She's about pregnancy, right? Being fertile with ideas, fertile with things in the physical world, allowing things to grow, allowing things to grow. And the thing about the Empress is that everything's allowed in the garden. It's all going to grow. And she's good with it. She's good with it. And I think what's growing are, here we go. Can you see everything? New opportunities, healing, intuition, trust in one's own abilities, boundaries, studiousness, a sense of self so that you just don't take anything, a clear vision. I think this is all what's growing. New ideas, inspiration, and the willingness to work at it. I think that's what's growing toward victory. Wow, I'll get into that card in a minute. Yeah, really clear thinking. All right. The 6 of Wands is a very powerful card. So the way I understand the 6 of Wands, this is like really has come to me. It's a 6, it's persevering, right? It's Wands, so it's creativity, it's instinct, it's passion. The 6 of Wands really symbolizes David. And it's this energy, it's this profound energy of being admired, of being loved, of being supported. by yourself, from yourself to yourself, by your fellows, by the people around you, and by spirit. It's the card of victory. It's the card of being seen. It's the card of being elevated. So this is where I feel we're all going. I feel like we're all going toward the thing that we're passionate about. And, maybe not 100%. Oh, well, I really want to paint my whole, right? So for me, I love to paint. And my life is more interesting and more varied and more, I don't know, rich when I paint and I have a YouTube channel and I do this and I'm learning Spanish and I'm meeting new people. And it's, because sometimes I think for me, I know when I've gotten really focused on one thing and one thing only, I kind of become obsessed with it and there's nothing else. And that's all there is. So I feel like there's a sense of expansion. And then the King of Swords. The King of Swords, I always call the surgeon. I mean, traditionally, he's known as like a judge or a lawyer. But the King of Swords, to me, is like a surgeon or a butcher. He cuts out what's unnecessary without emotional attachment. It's like you go to the accountant and he says, you're just spending too much on this. And it just needs to cut out because it's, you're digging into your money and it's not serving you on any level. It's a little bit like that. And sometimes, it's really good to be led by one's heart, and it's really important to be led by one's heart. But at the same time, don't leave your brain at the door, right? Don't leave your brain at the door. So I feel like overall, this is a really well-rounded year. I think there's going to be a lot of growth, a lot of growth spiritually, economically, in terms of, hopeful things, in terms of your passion. And, it's going to have its moments, but honestly, out of all these cards, there are 16 cards on the board. The big news, the big card is the Empress. She's the only one. She's the only major on the board. So, tune into that. Tune into like the three of creativity, the three of, it's Venus. It's about love, comfort, fertility, ease, flow, allowing. I hate when that shows. See how that shows? Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. When we sit in a state of comfort, in a state of ease, then more can flow toward us. More can flow out of us and more can flow toward us. That is my take for the year. So it's lovely. It's lovely. And, it's not all like perfect and, there's going to be some moments and some unsurety and some things are going to change and some things are going to like be gone. But I feel like it's a year, it's a real year of growth, a real year of growth individually and collectively. So that's lovely. That's lovely. All right. And I will be doing the, and now I'm going to get to the individuals, the individual signs. All right. Blessings. Thanks for tuning in. Have a lovely, lovely 2023. And see you soon. Blessings.